When I saw the imagery of Donald Trump in the courtroom today, I thought of you. Let's take a look at that. I was wondering what you thought when you saw this image of Donald Trump. These are the cameras that are allowed in the court before the proceeding officially gets underway, just so they can establish a photographic image of the room for audiences. What do you see when you see that man sitting at that table?
I felt the need to tell him that pouting is not an affirmative defense, but he clearly didn't get the message. He probably thinks he's looking stern and he's staring everybody down, but he does look like a disgruntled toddler. And I think you've covered really thoroughly the fact that his lack of intelligence has gotten him in trouble in his testimony. But the other thing, one other thing that is his misperception of the kind of control he has, which is to say he thinks he's in control, but he's not in control at all.
Yeah, and that seems to be something that the Attorney General actually wanted to encourage in him as a witness, the feeling, please be comfortable, please feel like you're in control of this, because then you just won't see us coming when we have these questions where you will incriminate literally everybody in the family business.
Yeah, it was masterfully done. And it was, at first, very frustrating that the judge wasn't intervening in any way. I think anybody else would have been slapped with contempt charges and would be sitting in a county jail right now. But as you mentioned, the prosecutor clearly wanted Donald to feel comfortable and confident in saying whatever he felt the need to say. And I think that aligned really well with Donald's unconscious impulse to twist what's actually going on. He's being accused on one level of being an entirely unsuccessful businessman. He's being accused of being a total failure. And in order to counter that, he needs to start bragging about how much he's worth, and he needs to start insulting people and feel like he is dominating. And as you alluded to, it made him walk into every single trap that was set for him, and probably some that weren't even set intentionally.